Hey everybody, we had a change of plans. We were on our way to Clear Creek Recreation Area in Alabama, which is a very beautiful park on Lake Lewis Smith. But when we were not in the Inchworm, we're in the Suburban pulling our old camper because we have a family member coming with us. Unfortunately, the Suburban has 300,000 miles on it, and so it was blowing some white smoke out of the tailpipe and right about when we hit Meridian. So we called the state park here, Clarko State Park, asked if they had any reservations. Thank God they had a couple of openings, so we're going to go there. We have to drive home anyway, so we might as well stay here and enjoy ourselves for a while, for at least a couple of days. And then we're going to try driving home when it's a little bit cooler. And this was a little bit of a, I've talked before, I think last time we were driving, we've talked about how, the traffic and how there's always something when you're traveling. I mean, things are not ever going to go the way you think that they are. That's what travel is all about, is trying to go with the flow. Current situation. I'm laying in bed with a very scared dog. I'm going with the flow. We've got a series of pretty bad thunderstorms that are rolling through. We're in a lull right now. I'm kind of keeping track with the radar. And I have a puppy that freaks out. And so I had to resort to Benadryl. And so he's now lying in bed with me, like just absolutely trying to crawl up in me. But he's finally kind of settling down now that it's been about an hour since I gave him the Benadryl. And we're having a change of plans again because the lake here is not real good for swimming. It's about as hot as a bathtub. So, Joe's gonna go on home. I'm gonna ride with Stephanie, and we are going to go to another lake about an hour and a half away that's clear. And I'm sorry I'm laughing so much, but go camping, they said. It'll be fun, they said. And it usually is fun. But sometimes bad weather happens. Sometimes scared dogs happen. And anyway, I'm fixing to read and enjoy this small lull in the storm. And I hope my dog will fall asleep. He looks pretty sleepy, so I think he's going to go to sleep. I hope he's going to go to sleep. He seems to. This is the most calm he's been so far. So we'll just see. We'll check in later.
On our way to Lake Teocata, we stopped by Dunn's Falls Water Park outside of Enterprise, Mississippi. The falls were created in 1850 by an Irish immigrant named John Dunn to power his grist mill. I don't know what happened to his original mill, but this one, built in 1857, was moved here from Cave Spring, Georgia, and reconstructed in 1987. Visitors can go inside and see many of the tools and equipment used in the milling process. The river was a little murkier than usual due to the previous night's rainfall, but it was still lovely. After leaving Dunn's Falls, we took another detour. I have a thing for folklore. The spookier the better, and Stuckey's Bridge, located a couple of miles down an isolated dirt road and spanning across the Chunky River in Lauderdale County, does not disappoint. Legend goes that Stuckey, a former member of the infamous Dalton gang, built an inn on the banks of the Chunky River near the bridge. Boatmen driving goods down the river would encounter Stuckey carrying his lantern and offering food and lodging for the night. Little did these men know that by accepting Stuckey's offer of hospitality, they were sealing their own fate. Stuckey would rob and murder his guests and bury their bodies in the banks of the Chunky. Eventually, his crimes caught up with him, however, and the townspeople took justice into their own hands and hung Stuckey from the bridge. After several days of swinging there for all to see, the rope was cut and Stuckey's lifeless, rotting corpse plunged into the river below. Today, intrepid thrill seekers visit the bridge at night. Some claim to have seen an apparition with a lantern creeping along the riverbank. Others have heard a loud splash, like a man-sized something falling into the river. One person even claims to have been pushed off the bridge by an unknown entity. Of course, like with all legends, there are few facts supporting the story. Perhaps the best way for you to decide whether or not the tale is true is to visit the place yourself, if you dare. As we watched some innocent butterflies sipping moisture from the damp dirt road leading away from the haunted bridge, little did we know we were in for a horror that dwarfed anything Stuckey could dream up. So now we're going to tell you the story of
The cat.
and the trip from hell. When we got to Lake Tiacata, our hotel room wasn't ready, so we decided to go to Lake Legion State Park and look around. It's pretty close by.
Yeah, check out the scenery.
Yeah.
Someplace I'd never been.
Yeah. And I jump out of the car while we're there and take a couple of pictures of some CCC structures. Got back in the van with Stephanie and Eva, and then there was a little road right by the lodge, and we went down that so we could see the lake. And when we got there, Stephanie decided to get a drink out of the ice chest.
I stopped, and as soon as I open the door, I hear screeching. I mean, just blood-curdling screeching. It's coming from under my van. So we all get out because we can hear the poor, kitty cat screaming, and we see it at the back of my van, near the back tire, up in the workings of the van, the undercarriage. And I could just reach it, so I reached in there and I tried to grab it, just barely touched her, and she spooked, and then she ran up towards the front of the van and got in the undercarriage of the front of the van.
Yeah. And so she's still meowing, and we can tell she's in the wheel well. It seemed like she was in the wheel well. We couldn't see her, but we could hear her. She's just meow, meow. And so we're knocking on the wheel well. We're doing everything to get her to come out, and she's not coming out. And we can hear that she has moved from the wheel well somehow, and now she's in the front, so we know she's up in the engine.
Right.
Yeah.
And of course, now this is a Sunday, and we're at a campground without one single camper.
No, there was
not a
nobody
soul.
in that entire park except for
There was a person at the entrance that took our day use fee.
Right.
That was the only person there. I think there was a person fishing on the lake.
Right, there was
One
a
person.
truck kind of out there where we were parked.
An empty truck. Yeah.
So, you know, we're kind of getting desperate because it's been quite a bit of time that we're trying to get this cat to come out, and it's not coming out. So,
No.
the
So-
lady from the entryway that we gave her fee to ended up just driving through, I think, or did you call
No,
her?
I called
Okay.
her to see what,
What
to
resources
do.
could
Yeah,
be available
Yeah,
to
is there
us.
anybody there that can help get a cat out of an engine? And she had no idea what to do, and so she told us to call the sheriff's department, which I was like,
We did.
Yeah, we did. And we were really surprised when Deputy Blake showed up.
Yeah, and he got out his flashlight, he got out his tarp, he crawled up under the van, he tried, and I mean, we were all trying. The lady that worked there was out there. We just can't get the cat. We just,
No, she's
and
not
it's
coming
starting
out.
to get late.
Yeah, it's
And
getting late.
I can't even get a mechanic to come out on a Sunday to take my van apart if we could take it apart.
The deputy, he had his flashlight, and at one point I was standing on a chair so I could see in real good with him because he was taller than us, and I couldn't fit my hand in to reach her. I could see her, and she was about maybe
Tiny.
this long. She was so little. I could see her real clearly. So could the deputy. But anytime we got anywhere near her, and all this time she's panting. It looked like she was about
hot.
to die. She's
Yeah, it's a hot day.
yeah, and she's
Humidity was high.
that was scary because I'd never seen a cat
Yeah,
pant
her
like
tongue
that.
was just sticking out
Oh, it was
and panting.
awful.
It was
like
frightening.
a dog, and she was hissing at us. So we could not get near her. This was quite obviously a feral cat, quite feral. So he gives up. I mean, he
He
tries.
says,
for,
"I'm sorry. I just don't know what else to do." The fact that a sheriff came out there at all
Was pretty nice.
Was pretty nice that he took his time to do that.
Mm-hmm.
But still, we had a kitten in the engine. Still.
Yeah. So we do not know what to do. We can't stay there. I mean, it's getting late. We don't have a place to sleep. We're in Stephanie's van, but it's a
It's a
single person
one-person
camper.
van.
So there's no way for all of us to sleep in this van. So we decide to drive very slowly and carefully up to the lodge because we think, well, maybe she got in there. Maybe the mama cat is around and she'll hear this baby crying and she'll come out. Maybe the baby will run out. We were pretty desperate.
Right.
So we ride up there.
And of course, that was scary. Just even driving
That
up there.
short little distance,
That short
you know.
little tiny distance.
We're holding our breath. We're so
Yes.
afraid we're gonna, it was a nightmare. No mama cat. Baby's still crying. So I called Joe because if Joe was with us, I feel certain he would have. MacGyver would have figured out a solution. But anyway, so he tells us go to a car wash if you can and spray down the engine, and that might scare her out. Well, we go, let's go to the dump station because I always have a hose. We'll just go to the dump station. We don't have to drive all the way. We're scared to drive with her anyway. So we start driving to where we think the dump station might be located, and along the way we stop a couple of times just to make sure she's okay and she hasn't been chopped up, and and we're feeling guilty because we know at any moment she could be chopped
I mean,
up.
I had to start the van twice, and
Yeah.
that was very scary starting the van and just not, I don't want to hear her scream,
Yeah, it was to tell you that this was traumatic is an understatement
It was.
because we're all animal lovers. We all have rescues and we're all cat lovers, so it was very traumatic. And when we finally get to where we thought a dump station would be, but there wasn't one, when we got there and opened up the hood, we did pour a gallon of water in there, but even before we did that, we did not hear her anymore.
Right. We kind of figured that, and I was driving extremely slow.
Very slowly.
We kind of figured maybe she fell out of the van and was in the woods, which also was sad because
She was
she
so
was
little.
so small. We don't think she had any chance of surviving in the woods.
No. Easy
Even with her
prey.
mother around, we didn't even know where her mom was,
Yeah.
and didn't hear another cat when we were out there. So, that was traumatic because we weren't able to catch it. We knew it was in the woods, and we knew any hawk or owl or any other fox would look at it like a little rat. She was
Yeah,
just
she was so
very
little.
small.
She was smaller than a rat.
Yeah.
So, and then we're like, we're fairly certain, not 100%, but we're fairly certain she's out. And so we decide to go ahead and drive to the hotel. We don't really have a choice at this point.
Right.
She's not in the van. We can't see her, because
We
we're
don't
corn
hear her.
watering.
She's not making any noises.
Yeah, we've looked on the back frame again. She's not there. So we're like, okay, we're going to drive to the hotel. We get to the hotel and take the van again
To get a pizza.
to pick up some pizza, because at this point we're
We
starving.
had to eat too.
Yeah,
So-
we're starving.
And we don't think there's a cat in the van,
Yeah.
so it's okay to go get pizza.
So I go get pizza and we come home. The next day, and all night long, we're traumatized. So it's a sleepless night. We can't,
Yeah, it
we're
was a bad
we're
night.
very upset. And so the next day, we're at the resort. We go swimming in the lake in the morning. We have lunch they have a nice little restaurant at Lake
Right.
Tiacata. We have lunch. We go back swimming for just about, a little while, and we come back and we're all just kind of resting on our beds. And I said, I hear the kitten. And we had heard this bird the whole time we were there that sounded like the kitten.
Yep, yeah.
And Stephanie goes, no, it's that bird again. I said, I think it's the kitten. And we open up the door.
And meow, meow, meow begins.
Yeah. Well, yay, we know the kitten's okay, but
How do we get it out?
yeah, we got to try to get this kitten out again. And we're leaving the next day. And checkout time is at 11. So, several men in the hotel complex decide
help, yeah.
come help. And hey, that's wonderful.
They stuck it out for about 5 or 10 minutes each. They didn't have the longevity, but one guy did have a really great idea. And he said, why don't you get on your phone and have mama cat sounds
Yeah.
and see if that'll lure the kitten out. Which
Yeah, that was a genius idea.
That was a great idea.
Now, they did keep checking on us. and
Right.
See, hey,
Is
did
the
you get
kitten
the
out
kitten
yet? Is the
yeah.
kitten out yet?
Yeah, they were very concerned, which I thought was
Yeah.
sweet. I thought that was really sweet. So we put the kitten sounds on, and immediately this kitten is, I mean,
Responding.
mama cat sounds, and
Yeah.
she is responding. She is meowing back every time mama cat on the video meows. Little kitty is meow meow. So that was good.
Still can't get her though all that day,
No.
and so I had some dog food because I had Kaya with me, and I put some dog food out mixed with some milk, and we left it out until maybe the cat will come out. But the cat came out, but it went back in evidently because something ate the cat food. I mean
Yeah.
the dog food.
Something
that we
ate
had set out. Something ate it.
And so the next day,
It's getting desperate because it is checkout time, and we've spent 2 days trying to get the cat out. It's
Yeah.
day 3.
yeah, we're on day 3. So I call
And
animal
we can't
control.
drive the van to get any resources because
Yeah.
it's got to,
Yeah,
like,
because we've
there's
got
a
the
cat
kitten.
in the engine.
And
But
at
we
this
have a
point,
place to sleep. So,
and at this
you know,
point, she is in the engine.
Yeah.
We can see her, so we know we can't drive.
from one end to the other.
Yeah, one side of the engine to the other. So we call animal control.
She
Didn't
ended
have
up bringing a
anything-
couple cans of cat food with her and a
and
trap.
the trap. So we put mama cat sounds on again and put food in the trap, and she's just not. She's not going. No.
And so it was, we kept, and we could keep seeing her moving from one end to the other at the front of the van in the engine. I mean, it just constantly, and she was definitely responding to the mama cat calls, and it finally got to the point where I told Susie, I said, we have to think like MacGyver.
Yeah.
We've
and
got to do something different.
And at this point, I'm sure the residents in the hotel, I mean, because we had this phone, meow, meow, these mom and cat
Hours.
sounds. It was hours of that. I'm sure but
They were all nice. They
were
kept
all
checking
nice
on us. They
because
kept checking on us.
because everyone that was in our little block of rooms kept, the mothers, the dads, has the kid, everybody was concerned. So that was people are good. I mean, really, I get caught up, but you forget how really good people are. So we have, at this point I go in and I had bought a toothbrush because I forgot my toothbrush. So I was like, the sacrificial toothbrush where we put we put cat food on the toothbrush and we're sticking it down through the engine
And she's
she's eating it and
she's licking a
smelling
little bit
it.
and eating it. Yeah, she's interested.
And also at this point, she's really just parked herself in the in the driver's side front of the engine. So we can
Right.
see her really good. We can't reach her, but we can see her. And while we're feeding her, and we've got mama cat sounds and food, and she is really, there's no more hissing.
Yeah, she stopped hissing at us.
No,
she
she's
started
not.
to get food. I think
Mhm.
she's might be because the mama cat sounds. I think she's relating us maybe to her mom a little bit more because it's
Yeah.
and so the hissing is all done.
Yeah.
She's not hissing at us anymore.
In fact, she's even rolling on her back a little bit.
Yeah.
And at this point, with her rolling on her back and looking up I mean, there's no way we're going to drive now with this kitten.
Yeah, well,
now
she's
we're
giving
getting
us the look.
attached. We're like, oh my God, we got to get this kitten out. So Stephanie comes up with this idea. Let's make a noose. Let's fashion a noose like a cowboy, and we can rope her.
And the cowgirl did not get her.
Yeah, so we're fashioning nooses out of several things. And this is the crazy thing.
Many things we try
Yeah,
to make nooses
yeah.
with.
Phone, cell chargers, they don't make good nooses. And the thing, or lassos, let's not call them a noose. It's a
Right.
lasso is what we
Right.
were doing. We were going to lasso this kitten.
Yeah.
And what's funny is Stephanie said in the beginning, we could make a lasso, like you would out of a leash. Did we think of the leash? No.
Because we had one.
Yeah. So we're,
I have a dog and
we're
nothing.
fashioning, we fashioned one out of a cell phone charger. It doesn't work. Steph's
No,
doing that.
too stiff.
And then Steph has torn a rag apart, and
There
which
was
is certainly
no
not working.
stability in that one.
And so I'm sitting here there watching her, and I look over at Kaya, and Kaya's literally dragging the leash because she's loose, but she still has a leash attached to her. I said, "Get over here, Kaya." And I take that leash off of Kaya, and I fashion it, and I get in there, and I pull her up, but she drops back down.
Not quite tight enough. We didn't
Not quite
get it
tight
that
enough.
time. So we're trying to get the cat to go through the lasso by, getting it to go
Yeah.
for the food.
And I don't even think it was the food that attracted her. She was interested. I think she could smell the leash, and
yeah.
she's like sniffing, and she's
Very
basically
interested in the leash.
yeah. And this last time, I'm like, I'm not a fisherman and I'm not a cowgirl, so I'm starting to panic and going, I'm not gonna be able to do
But
this.
it was your second try. Her second
Yeah.
try. I'd already tried 3 or 4 times, and I didn't.
Well, you were using a cell phone charger. That was the thing. I think you have to be good with crafts. So anyway, I jerked her, and I didn't jerk her hard. And that was another thing. You were afraid to jerk too hard because we didn't want to break her neck. So we
But
really only
mama
had
cats
it.
do hold their kitties by their necks.
Yeah.
So we knew that we would be safe doing it.
Yeah, but basically it went around more really the top of her
Yeah.
head.
It didn't go around. It just.
Yeah. So I bring her up, and our family member, the teenager, grabs her, puts her on her chest, and
That's it.
the relief.
I walk out of the. What did I say when I walked out? I went out and screamed something at the hotel. We did it or something like that.
Yeah, we were just like, it was like we had won the World Series. It was like we were just going crazy.
And
we
of course,
pulled-
there
we-
was no room when the lady that from animal control came. She said, if y'all get it out, there's no room. We can't.
Yeah,
take
we
the
can't
kid.
take her. And Stephanie had already said, at
After
this
this-
point, as working, she's like, I'm taking her.
She
Goal
already
is to
has
just
too many that
yeah,
she takes care
I
of.
already have too many cats. Steph, at this point, when we were starting with the lasso, she's like, that cat's coming home with me. So,
And
yeah.
all the humane societies are so full.
yeah,
you
they're
you
so
just never
full.
know. Yeah.
So it really, okay, so we get her.
End
It's
of our stay.
11:39.
And they
had
told
told
us
us
we
we
could leave
could
at 12.
check out at 12.
Instead of 11.
Yeah, so
So-
11:39 we pulled that kitten out. It was fate.
It really was.
It
And
really was.
we just threw all of our stuff in the van real quick and went and checked out.
Brought the trap back to the animal control. They gave us a cardboard box for the kitten. And so let's introduce you to her.
They call me sassy when I'm strolling down the street. They call me classy when I'm serving just the best. I can be deadly when I find somebody lovely. And now I'm ready like a kitty in a dress.
All right, here she is, and she's grown. This is 3 weeks ago. This happened. When I took her to the vet a week after I got her, she weighed 1.1 pounds. So she was probably about 3/4 of a pound when we got her. But
Yeah.
she is a little wild thing, and she loves to play with my dog.
Yeah, and she has grown. So you can imagine how little
She
she
was
was
tiny.
when we pulled her out. Because when we pulled her out, she was even smaller than I thought.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
Come here, baby. Come on.
Come on up. There you go.
Come on away.
Just want to try to attack your fingers. That's what I like to do.
Nope.
She's a
having
typical
none of it.
cat.
Yeah.
She's only going to
Typical
want you when
kitten.
she wants you.
Yeah. Also, she wants to play.
Yes.
Yeah. So all the way home, she was in the box in the back. I would pet her. She ate. Oh my God, she ate so much
Yes.
cat food on the way home. And by the time she was home, she wasn't a feral cat anymore.
No.
Mm-mm.
Nope.
She was completely, utterly loved people.
She's already decided that my bed is the place to sleep,
Yeah.
along with Kaya.
Yeah.
Thank goodness I've got a queen size bed.
Yeah. So such a happy ending. I mean, considering how stressed we were that first day and half the next day overnight, and she got a great home, and everybody loves you, and
She's a little rotten.
she's so pretty, and she's got a little
Little
orange
red on her head.
streak, and she'll
Very
be
unique
getting.
little colorations on this little kitty cat.
Yeah, she's just as cute as she can be.
That's a cute pie.
She's cute. So, if you ever have a kitten stuck in your engine, and you know, in regular car engines, I think it'd be easier. It's
Yeah.
just those vans are just everything's so
squeezed.
cramped. That's why mechanics don't like working on them.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
and I don't blame them. But you know, cat food, mama cat sounds, and a good lasso.
Yes, I think she associated us with her mama.
Yeah, I think she thought we were mama cats because we were providing food.
We sounded like a mama cat.
Here she is again. I'm gonna try.
Yeah, if I did, then I would swing it, be swinging it in front of you.